Hey Michael, let's take a look at your week one assignment 3. Getting this stuff in early, it's definitely a good thing. If you want to get something in early and you don't want it to be a final, you can just let me know, and we'll treat it like a draft, and I'll just take a look at it and make some comments, and you're free to make changes to it before up until the due date, which I mean you are now as well, but I think some people, they just kind of want to turn it in early and then be done with it. So just know you always have the option of making changes to the work. If you do get it in early and you want to have something else in. It's probably not going to be the case for here, though. I think you've really outdone yourself with both of these assignments, both of the sets. The side to side is doing a great job of getting just a very, very even, kind of nice coverage overall. Your edge quality is really excellent. More so, I think, when we run into these areas where there's colors that are right next to each other, what happens most of the time is there's a definite kind of change in value from the insides to the edges, and it doesn't seem like that's something that's happening here. There's no color kind of integration on those edges either, which is good. So there's minimal bleeding, there's minimal overlapping, which is exactly what we're looking for. And it's a pretty complex series of shapes. There's a lot of overlaps, there's a lot of tight corners. I know doing these kinds of areas and a lot of the parts of the triangles can tend to get a little hairy. And you've done a great job in both the side to side and in the blind with these. The cuts that you've made within these spaces is really, really excellent. And even dealing with the circles, I think you're doing a great job of creating these nice kind of clean cutting edges all the way around, which is it's good to see you doing it on the inside of each of the shapes, and not just kind of I see a lot of people say with this circle, they'll cut the inside of the circle, but then they'll, for whatever reason, not cut the inside of the square. But it looks like you're just kind of being nice and consistent throughout. The blinds look great. The grays look great. It's going to happen with the grays, with the blinds, especially with the 20s. Scanners, I don't know of a scanner that does not overexpose, and it's just going to always wash out those grays that are very close to the paper color, even though a 20% gray isn't even that close. And it's also going to kind of oversaturate your darks a lot of the time. So you can see about playing around with the scanner settings. You don't have to do it for this. This looks terrific, but you can play around with it. I know my scanner has 10 different settings for text, black and white, text color, photo color, photo black and white, that sort of stuff. But there's not anything that I can do to directly affect how kind of it exposes everything. So the exposure setting on it. So that might be just something to play around with, but it happens, and everybody's does it. So I've yet to find a completely perfect solution other than going into Photoshop and making some level adjustments and some other gamma adjustments. But this looks great. I think you've got some really excellent control going on. I actually think that the limited color palette is to a benefit to a certain amount, because it keeps things nice and streamlined. It feels like it's kind of color coordinated, which is kind of neat. But really, I think in terms of just kind of what this assignment is aiming for, straight up technique and control of your marker, you've really done a great job of it. And I probably couldn't ask for a better assignment for a first week assignment.